Officer, I already showed you you're under arrest for obstruction.
Sure you are.
Sure.
And I'm the president. Hands behind your back.
What you just witnessed is a short body cam clip from police officer Derek Wilson making what he thought was a routine arrest at a gas station in suburban Los Angeles. But what he didn't know was that the man he just handcuffed would end his entire career within the next 72 hours. A black man is sitting in his car at a gas station on a Tuesday morning. He has just finished filling up his tank. He is wearing a dark suit, a white shirt, and a tie. His credentials are in his jacket pocket. He has been with the FBI for 14 years. Within the next 20 minutes, a police officer would pull up behind him without cause, demand his identification 3 separate times, accuse him of driving a stolen vehicle, and place him in handcuffs in front of a dozen witnesses. What this officer did not know was that the man he was about to arrest was a supervisory special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And the entire incident was being captured on the gas station's security cameras and the officer's own body cam. Before we continue with this insane story, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss what happens next. Now, let's get into this. The man sitting in that car was Marcus Thompson, a 41-year-old FBI agent. He had worked his way up from a field agent position in Dallas. He handled organized crime cases. He worked on counter-terrorism. He led raids on drug trafficking operations. He had testified before Congress twice. He commanded a task force of 30 agents across 4 states. And he reported directly to the assistant director at FBI headquarters. But on that Tuesday morning, none of that mattered. Because to the police officer who pulled up behind him, Marcus Thompson was just a black man driving an expensive car in the wrong part of town. The gas station where Marcus stopped was on the edge of a wealthy suburban area. Most of the cars that stopped there were luxury vehicles. The people who lived nearby were mostly white. There were tech executives. There were surgeons. There were corporate attorneys. Marcus was passing through on his way to a federal courthouse 20 miles away. He had a meeting scheduled with a federal judge at 10 a.m. He had left early to avoid traffic. He needed gas. He pulled into the station at 8:47 a.m. Officer Derek Wilson was parked across the street. He had been on the force for 9 years. His record was troubled. He had been involved in 4 excessive force complaints over the past 3 years. 2 of those complaints came from black motorists who claimed they were stopped without a valid reason. None of those complaints had resulted in termination. He had been suspended for 2 weeks once. He had been required to attend a weekend workshop on community relations, but nothing more. That morning, he saw Marcus pull into the gas station. He saw a black man in a BMW. He saw someone he decided did not belong. Officer Wilson pulled his patrol car into the gas station lot. He parked directly behind Marcus's vehicle, blocking him in. He did not run the plates first. He did not call for backup. He did not have any legal reason to make the stop. He simply got out of his car and approached the driver's side window. This is where the body cam footage begins. The video shows Officer Wilson walking up to the BMW. You can see Marcus sitting in the driver's seat. His hands are on the steering wheel. The car is in park. The engine is off. Officer Wilson taps on the window with his knuckle. Marcus rolls down the window. He looks at the officer calmly. He asks if there is a problem. Officer Wilson tells him to provide his license and registration. Marcus asks why he is being stopped. Officer Wilson does not answer the question. He repeats his demand for identification. Marcus reaches slowly into his jacket pocket. He pulls out his wallet. He removes his driver's license and hands it to the officer. Officer Wilson takes the license. He looks at it for several seconds. Then he asks Marcus if this is his car. Marcus says yes. Officer Wilson asks where he is coming from. Marcus says he is heading to the federal courthouse. Officer Wilson looks at him for a moment. Then he asks Marcus to step out of the vehicle. Now imagine this for a second. You're sitting in your own car. You've done absolutely nothing wrong. and a cop is ordering you out of the vehicle for no reason. Type illegal. Stop in the comments if you think this is completely wrong. Marcus asks the officer what the legal basis is for the stop. Officer Wilson tells him he does not need to explain himself. He tells Marcus that he is being difficult. He says that the vehicle matches the description of a stolen car reported in the area. This is completely false. There had been no such report. Officer Wilson made it up on the spot. Marcus knows immediately that the officer is lying. He has conducted thousands of interviews. He has interrogated cartel members and white-collar criminals. He knows when someone is fabricating a story. But he also knows that challenging a police officer during a stop can escalate the situation. He has seen too many cases where things went wrong. So Marcus complies. He opens the door slowly. He steps out of the vehicle with his hands visible. He tells the officer he is a federal agent. He says his credentials are in his jacket pocket. Officer Wilson does not respond to this. Instead, he tells Marcus to turn around and place his hands on the roof of the car. Marcus turns around. He places his hands flat on the roof. Officer Wilson begins to pat him down. The body cam captures everything. You can hear the officers breathing. You can hear cars passing on the street. You can hear Marcus asking again why he is being detained. Officer Wilson tells him to be quiet. He tells him that resisting will only make things worse. Marcus is not resisting. He is standing completely still with his hands on the car. But the officer keeps talking as if Marcus is being combative. Officer Wilson reaches into Marcus's jacket pocket. He pulls out a black leather credential case. He opens it. Inside is a gold FBI badge and a federal identification card with Marcus's photo, name, and title. The card clearly states, Supervisory Special Agent, Federal Bureau of Investigation. Officer Wilson stares at it for several seconds. Then he closes the case. He puts it back in Marcus's pocket. And he tells Marcus that anyone can buy a fake badge online. Let me pause here and tell you how insane this is. A police officer is looking at legitimate federal credentials and claiming they are fake. Marcus asks the officer to call the FBI field office to verify his identity. He gives him the direct number. He tells him to ask for the assistant special agent in charge. Officer Wilson refuses. He says he does not have time for games. He tells Marcus that he is now being detained for obstruction of justice because he is not cooperating. Marcus asks what he is obstructing. Officer Wilson does not provide an answer. Instead, he tells Marcus to put his hands behind his back. Marcus does not move. He stands there with his hands still on the roof of the car. He tells the officer that he is making a serious mistake. He tells him that unlawfully detaining a federal agent violates federal law. He tells him that every second of this interaction is being recorded. Officer Wilson does not care. He grabs Marcus's left arm and pulls it behind his back. He snaps a handcuff onto his wrist. By this point, several people at the gas station have stopped what they are doing. They are watching. One woman is recording on her phone. A man pumping gas at the next pump walks over. He asks Officer Wilson what is going on. The officer tells him to step back. The man says he knows Marcus. He says Marcus comes to this gas station every week. He says he has never caused any problems. Officer Wilson ignores him. He pulls Marcus's right arm behind his back and locks the second cuff. Marcus is now in handcuffs. He is standing next to his own car. He has committed no crime. He has broken no law. He is a federal agent being arrested by a local cop who refuses to verify his identity. Type "This is illegal" in the comments if you are as shocked as I am right now. Officer Wilson walks Marcus to the patrol car. He opens the back door. He puts his hand on Marcus's head and guides him into the back seat. Marcus sits down. The door closes. He is now locked inside a police vehicle. Through the window, you can see his face. He is not angry. He is not yelling. He looks calm. But if you look closely at the body cam footage, you can see his jaw tighten. This is a man who knows exactly what his rights are, and he knows they have just been violated. Officer Wilson walks back to the BMW. He looks inside. He opens the door and searches the vehicle without a warrant. He goes through the glove compartment. He looks under the seats. He finds nothing because there is nothing to find. Meanwhile, Marcus sits in the back of the patrol car. He cannot open the doors from the inside. He cannot use his phone because it is still in his jacket pocket, and his hands are cuffed behind his back. All he can do is wait. Officer Wilson gets back into the patrol car. He sits in the driver's seat. He picks up his radio. He calls dispatch. He tells them he has a suspect in custody for possible vehicle theft and obstruction. He gives them Marcus's name from the driver's license. He does not mention the FBI credentials. He does not mention that Marcus identified himself as a federal agent. The dispatcher runs Marcus's name through the system. What comes back changes everything. The dispatcher's voice comes through the radio. She sounds confused. She asks Officer Wilson to confirm the name. He confirms it. There is a pause. Then the dispatcher says that the name is flagged in the system. It shows up as an active federal law enforcement officer with the FBI. She asks if Officer Wilson is aware of this. You can hear the silence on the body cam. Officer Wilson does not respond immediately. Then he says he needs to verify something and will call back. But it is too late. The dispatcher has already logged the information. Protocol requires that any interaction with a federal agent be reported up the chain of command immediately. Within minutes, the watch commander at the police station is notified. Within 10 minutes, the chief of police is on the phone. Within 15 minutes, 2 senior officers are dispatched to the gas station. And within 20 minutes, a call is made to the FBI field office. At the field office, the assistant special agent in charge answers the phone. He is told that one of his agents has been detained by local police. He asks which agent. When he hears the name Marcus Thompson, his face goes white. Marcus is not just any agent. Marcus is the lead agent on a joint task force with that same police department. Marcus has worked directly with their officers on multiple cases. The assistant special agent in charge tells them he is coming to the scene personally. He hangs up the phone. He grabs his jacket and walks out of the office. Back at the gas station, Officer Wilson is still sitting in the patrol car. Marcus is still handcuffed in the back seat. The officer has not said a word to him. He has not explained what happens next. He is staring straight ahead. You can see on the body cam that his hands are gripping the steering wheel. Then 2 more police cars pull into the lot. A sergeant and a lieutenant get out. They walk directly to Officer Wilson's vehicle. The sergeant taps on the window. Officer Wilson rolls it down. The sergeant asks him what is going on. Officer Wilson explains that he stopped a suspicious vehicle and the driver was uncooperative. The sergeant asks if he ran the plates before making the stop. Officer Wilson hesitates. He says he did not. The sergeant asks why not. Officer Wilson says the vehicle matched a description. The sergeant asks what description. Officer Wilson does not have an answer. The lieutenant walks to the back door and looks inside. He sees Marcus sitting there in handcuffs. He recognizes him immediately. The lieutenant's face changes. He opens the back door. He asks Marcus if he is okay. Marcus says he is fine, but he has been unlawfully detained. The lieutenant tells him they'll get this sorted out right now. He tells the sergeant to remove the handcuffs. The sergeant opens the door on the other side. He reaches in and unlocks the cuffs. Marcus brings his hands forward and rubs his wrists. He steps out of the vehicle. The sergeant apologizes. He says there has been a terrible misunderstanding. Marcus looks at him. He says this was not a misunderstanding. He says this was an illegal stop, an illegal search, and an illegal arrest. He says he identified himself as a federal agent. He says he showed his credentials. He says Officer Wilson ignored all of that and arrested him anyway. The lieutenant asks if this is true. Marcus tells him to review the body cam footage. He says everything is on camera. If you are still watching, type body cam proves everything in the comments. This footage is about to end a career. Within 5 minutes, the assistant special agent in charge arrives at the gas station. He parks his car and walks straight to Marcus. He asks if he is all right. Marcus nods. He gives a brief summary of what happened. The assistant special agent in charge listens. Then he turns to the lieutenant and asks who made the arrest. The lieutenant points to Officer Wilson, who is still sitting in the patrol car. The assistant special agent in charge walks over to the vehicle. He tells Officer Wilson to step out. Officer Wilson gets out of the car. The assistant special agent in charge identifies himself. He tells the officer that he has just unlawfully detained a federal agent. He tells him that making a false arrest is a federal crime. He tells him that searching a vehicle without probable cause violates the Fourth Amendment. He tells him that everything he did is on camera and will be reported to the Department of Justice. Officer Wilson does not say anything. His face has gone pale. He looks at Marcus. Then he looks at the ground. The lieutenant tells Officer Wilson to remove his body cam and hand it over. The officer unclips the camera from his chest. He hands it to the lieutenant. The lieutenant tells him to go back to the station and wait in the chief's office. Officer Wilson gets back in his patrol car. He drives away without saying a word. Marcus stands there watching him leave. The assistant special agent in charge puts a hand on his shoulder. He tells him they will handle this. Marcus says he knows they will. But he also says he is filing a formal complaint with Internal Affairs and with the FBI's Civil Rights Division. Within 72 hours, the body cam footage was reviewed by the police department's Internal Affairs unit. Marcus had demanded a copy immediately. He also requested the gas station's security footage and the patrol car's dashcam video. All 3 recordings told the same story. Officer Wilson had no legal reason to make the stop. He fabricated a claim about a stolen vehicle. He ignored federal credentials. He unlawfully arrested a federal agent. Every single action was captured on video. The police chief held a press conference. He called the incident unacceptable. He said it did not reflect the department's values. He announced that Officer Wilson had been placed on immediate suspension without pay, pending the outcome of an investigation. The FBI also released a statement. They said they were conducting their own review. They said they would cooperate fully with local authorities, but reserved the right to pursue federal charges if warranted. The investigation moved quickly. Investigators pulled Officer Wilson's entire history. They found the previous excessive force complaints. They found that 3 of the 4 complaints involved black motorists. They found written warnings in his file about biased policing. They interviewed the witnesses at the gas station. They interviewed the dispatcher who flagged Marcus's name. They interviewed the sergeant and lieutenant who responded to the scene. The conclusion was clear. Officer Wilson had engaged in racial profiling. He had violated department policy. He had committed multiple civil rights violations. The police union tried to defend him. They argued that he was following his training. They argued that he had a right to verify someone's identity. They argued that the arrest was based on reasonable suspicion. But the evidence was overwhelming. The body cam showed everything. There was no reasonable suspicion. There was no stolen vehicle report. There was no legal justification. The union's arguments fell apart. The final decision was made by the chief of police and the city's legal team. Officer Wilson would be terminated immediately. He would lose his pension. He would be barred from working in law enforcement anywhere in the state. And the case would be referred to the Department of Justice for possible federal prosecution. This was one of the harshest punishments ever handed down by that department. His career was over. Not just paused, not just reassigned, completely finished. Now, let me ask you something. Do you think termination was enough? Or should Officer Wilson face criminal charges? Type charges or termination in the comments? I want to know what you think. Marcus released a statement after the decision was announced. He said what happened to him was not unique. He said that black men across the country are stopped, detained, and arrested without cause every single day. He said most of them do not have a badge to protect them. Most of them do not have federal credentials. Most of them do not have video proof. He said the system must change, not just for people like him, but for everyone who deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. The Department of Justice did open an investigation. They reviewed the case for potential federal charges. After 6 months, they announced that Officer Wilson would face charges for deprivation of rights under color of law. This is a federal crime that carries a maximum sentence of up to 10 years in prison. The trial is still pending. But even if he is never convicted, his life as a police officer is over. Marcus Thompson continues to serve as a supervisory special agent with the FBI. He continues to lead his task force. He continues to work cases that put dangerous criminals behind bars. But he has said in interviews that the experience changed how he sees his own profession. It reminded him that the badge he carries does not protect him from the assumptions people make about his skin color. He now speaks at police academies. He trains officers on implicit bias. He works to ensure that what happened to him does not happen to others. Officer Derek Wilson has made no public statements. There have been no apologies, no interviews, no acknowledgement of wrongdoing. Just a quiet exit from a career that ended because he saw a black man in an expensive car and decided he did not belong. Justice does not always look like a prison sentence. Sometimes it looks like a termination letter. Sometimes it looks like a federal investigation. Sometimes it feels like a badge being permanently taken away. But one thing remains true. The body cam never lied. It captured every illegal action, every false statement, every moment of bias that could have been denied without proof. And because of that footage, a federal agent who was treated like a criminal at a gas station was able to prove exactly what happened. If you made it this far, thank you for watching this story. If you found it powerful, share it with someone who needs to see it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do so now. There are more stories like this waiting for you. Stories that need to be told. Stories that need to be heard. Until next time.